الله أكبر حي على الصلاة الله أكبر 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 حي على
Shalom alaikum. I just want to give honor to the Most High for allowing me to be here. We do a short prayer or blessing. Kuman Yehovah Utuobeka Wanisu Misaneka Mipaneka. Rise up, O Lord, and scatter our enemies before your face. And that's from Numbers 10:35. I'd like to thank Student Minister Stanley Muhammad and Muhammad Mas 15B for the invite once again for this Unity Conference. I would like to thank Gerald Hall and Sister Carmelita as well. Brother Gerald X and Sister Carmelita as well for the invite. On last Unity Conference or Banquet, I spoke on the difference of the unity that we experienced in the 1960s and 50s versus the unity that we experience current day. And I believe that we have an opportunity to exemplify a unity much stronger than the one we had in the 60s, believe it or not. And the reason I say that is because during that time we know we experienced segregation, and that unity was only by coercion or only by force. So now we have a unity where we actually contribute to a venue in order for us to unify with one another. So I know each and every one of these individuals that's in this building really want to unify, because if you pay to unify with one another, I know that you're serious about unifying. It's not de facto or it's not destroyed by law. You're doing it because your own will, that you want to be amongst your people. And so we have a very great opportunity before our hands that we can exemplify this type of unity amongst ourselves that we've never experienced before. We got the right to choose to live with anybody and be amongst anybody, but we chose to be amongst ourselves. And that's a blessing to be a part of something so strong. What today I want to talk about is the terrain of our unity. When I say terrain, I'm meaning what is our unity founded on? More specifically, the social economic terrain on which we are. Because if one is struggling to pay their bills, how are they going to unify? If one is having a hard time at home, how are you going to unify? If you're disunified in the home, how can you unify outside the home? Right. It won't be a true unity. So we have to know where we stand economically before we can truly unify each other. We have to know where we are, because we aren't all on the same plane in regards to economics. However, if we know the facts about how our economics look like, we know where to go from them, because you shall know the truth and the truth shall make you free. And we all want freedom. So we have to understand the real economics behind what we see nowadays. We got to understand that the middle black family in Boston household net worth is worth $8. Wow. We have to know that the middle black family in Miami is worth $11. We have to know that the middle black family in Los Angeles is worth $200. We have to know that the middle black family in Washington, D.C. is only worth $3,500. And the middle black family across the U.S. is only worth $1,300. We have to know these facts, because we got to know what we're dealing with economically, because we get upset when we don't get contributions from our people, and we're expecting to become millionaires of people who aren't millionaires. And so we have this idea in our mind that we can somehow get rich off of people who aren't rich for the most part. Now, I don't want to put in limitations on anybody who has aspirations to become a millionaire. However, we need to know where we stand before we can move forward. All right, our history. A lot of us become estranged to our history, what our history looks like, where we come from. I can only speak for myself. I know my great-grandfather was a sharecropper, meaning that he was on a plantation and he didn't get paid anything, and he worked for a slave master. I met him. He died when he was 107. As a matter of fact, he lived in the same city that Gerald X is from, Talbotton, Georgia, and was able to acquire 100 acres. And to see what the stories that he had to go through, I realized that it's something that I have to overcome myself, because he struggled so much to get what he got during the time that he lived. His first car was a Model T. He fought off the KKK with shotguns. My mom would tell me stories about, the KKK outside burning, steaks and things of that nature. And so these are the stories that I heard growing up, and I realized that a lot of people don't have that same experience. I'm the first generation in my family that has not picked cotton. My mother picked cotton, my grandmother picked cotton, and my great-grandfather picked cotton. My uncles picked cotton. During last Thanksgiving, they was having stories about picking cotton. And this is 2019, going on 2020. So when I say our economic situation, we got to realize where we come from. We experienced 250 years of slavery. That's over 20 times as long as the Ashkenazi Jewish Holocaust. We experienced 90 years of Jim Crow. We experienced 60 years of separate but equal. We experienced 35 years of state-sanctioned redlining. So we got to know where we came from to know where we're going. Yeah. Because of that history, there's a stigma that's placed on us that doesn't allow us to move forward like other groups of people. Yeah. That doesn't allow us to move forward like Caucasians, white people, any other non-black people. We can't move forward because there's a stigma placed on us because of our history. And if we don't come to grips with our history, we won't be able to move forward. So we got to understand where we come from. All right? So with all that history, we got to understand as well that by the year 2053, I have two children, a daughter that's 2 years old, son that my wife is holding now who's 4 months. By the year 2053, it's projected that the median black household wealth is going to be $0. Zero. Because of the most recent tax things that Donald Trump passed. It's going to push us back. So by the time my children are the age that I am now, most of their peers will have a median household net worth of $0. Okay? And so this is what we got to come to grips with economically, because we got to realize how other groups of people got what they got wasn't by their own individual effort. That's right. White people didn't get what they had just because they had some special ability to work harder than black people.
Teach them that feat.
They had an entire government backing them, providing them resources for them to get what they had. So can we do the same thing without the government backing us to get what we need, or can we do it on our individual effort? It's going to be very difficult. And it's sad to me last year during the graduation from Sister Teresa's class to hear, I think it's Dr. Wesley. Am I saying his name? Wesley, who has the farm, who's over the farm in Ridgely. Okay, I'm sorry. Dr. Ridgely explained that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was being accused of working with the government because he was receiving government subsidies for his farmland, and so they had to stop getting money for the government to appease people who didn't understand what was going on. If you have a farm, if you pay taxes, if you pay state taxes, if you pay federal taxes, the government owes you back what you give out. You're not working with the government, they owe you. So for me to have to sit back and watch them say that the little bit of money that they got from the government, they had to reject just so it doesn't appear that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan isn't working with the government was sad. The Bible says, in all your getting, get understanding. You got to understand, we giving all this money to the government for them to keep it. We got representatives that's supposed to represent me in my own neighborhood that we don't want to talk to. We don't follow on Twitter. We don't know who they are. And then we wonder why we're in a situation because all these things are happening around us and we're not involved in our politics. So we have to learn how to connect ourselves with these politicians. We're afraid of it. I know that we don't trust politicians. However, we got to get to know them. We got some platforms that we can use. We can use Twitter. Your voice is very loud on Twitter. You can call out your elected official on Twitter. If they're saying some nonsense that's not dealing with your neighborhood, call them out on Twitter. If you don't got the time to go see them, but we got to understand that we have to move more politically and get involved politically in order for us to be moved. And now you hear certain things on the political ticket coming up, such as reparations that you've never heard before. And now they actually talking about giving reparations. But we got to understand that reparations is not a handout. It's our inheritance. Who put more blood equity in the United States than black people? Who done more for the United States than black people? If David Blight, and they said in 1860, a black man or the black people or the enslaved Africans at that time was worth more than all railroads, all manufacturing combined. They were the most single highest asset in the entire United States was a black family, was a black person, was the enslaved person in 1860. We're worth more than everything. The global economy is built off the free labor of your ancestors. This world ran because of what your ancestors did for free. And you think I'm gonna reject the government from giving me something that my great-grandfather and my mother and my grandmother worked for? Absolutely not. I'll be foolish. It's not a handout, it's my inheritance. It's your inheritance. So don't be afraid to receive your inheritance. Don't let anybody cheat you out getting your inheritance, because it is what's owed to you. It's not a handout. You're not lazy. We did as best as we could up until this point. A lot of people say black people got to work hard. I think we did well for what we had and what the challenges that we had to go through. We had to go through a lot to get where we still survived. Our grandparents survived the Ma'afa. They survived the Middle Passage where millions of Africans died. They got to the shore and had to endure 250 years of slavery, 90 years of station, 35 years of station, redlining, 90 years of Jim Crow back to back, 60 years of separate but equal. We had to experience all these things back to back, and we are still here kicking and united in the face of that. We should be proud of ourselves. We should be proud of ourselves. And I just want to share a couple more things. You know, we had a so-called black president in office, and I don't want to bash him, but I just want to let everybody know that how we looked at him was very wrong, because he had the opportunity to help black people without the help of Democrats, without the help of Republicans. He had something that was called the SBA, the Small Business Administration, that he has full control over. Nobody's blocking him. Because a lot of people say, well, you know, Barack Obama didn't do anything black people because people were trying to stop him. He had certain things he had full control over. Small Business Administration is in charge of small businesses and giving out loans to small businesses in America. He has full control over that. But he decides to only give 1.7% of the SBA loans to African American owned businesses. The previous administration had over 8% to African American owned businesses. So it went down almost 78 or 80% since the Bush administration to the Obama administration, something he had full control over. So we got to get this. We got to know who our people are, because we looked at him as a black man with a white mother, but he was really a white man with a Kenyan father. That's right. And that's why we got in the situation that we were in, and that's why we're dealing with the things that we're dealing with now, because we got to know who our people are and where they come from. Because if they didn't grow up in your neighborhood, they don't know about how you live, and they don't know about your economic situation. They got a silver spoon in their mouth. They're not going to. More than likely, they're not going to deal with you. More than likely, they're not going to progress you. More than likely, they're not going to be able to connect with you. But as soon as they get a chance to progress the people that put them there, they're going to help them out. So I'm not going to be before you long, and I'll close since I have a little time in the Hebrew tongue. Psalms 133, how good and pleasant it is for brothers to dwell together. Assalamu alaikum, shalom alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Make sure y'all awake. I rise giving all praises to Allah, the Father of the universe, cherisher and sustainer of all the balanced universes. I extend the highest of honors to his holy and divine prophet, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America. I extend high honors to his forerunner, the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, founder of the Universal Negro Improvement Association, who did indeed warn and stir up the nations. I extend high honors to the Moorish flag, the red flag with the 5-pointed green star in the center. These 5 points represent love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. These are the 5 highest principles known to man. I give honors to the American flag, also known as the Stars and Stripes. This flag exists as a constant reminder that the European nations owe you, the Moors and the Asiatics, with compound interest. I give honors to Student Minister Stanley Muhammad, who has always extended his hand to Simple Number 19. Brother performed my wife and I's marriage ceremony last year, and we still together. And I give honors to my bishop wife. She's still putting up with my madness for this year. Praise Allah for that. And I give honors to you all, because when man honors man and woman, he honors Allah. That's right. All right. One of the phrases that keeps coming up, during this, this demonstration of unity, is that our unity is more powerful than in that time of That's right. And if I'm not mistaken, that's a quote from the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, right? Now, the Prophet Noble Ali tells us and instructs us that thought is the cause of it all. Everyone, repeat that after me. Thought is the cause of it all. Unity is the thought. But two conflicting ideas cannot occupy the same space at the same time. Right. See, when you're dealing with people that are under what we refer to as a European psychology, right? And you're using the Europeans measuring as a measuring rod for everything that you do, it makes it impossible for you to unify. That's right? Because you're holding ideas insofar as when you're looking at someone that's a little lighter than you. Oh, she thinks she's such a nice. She got a little wave pattern to her hair. Half wave pattern. Look at him over there, he got a nice car and I'm driving a bucket. I'm 46, we used to call it bucket back in the day. Right? But the point is that these little differences that we used to call it, Willie Lynch. Right? All of us have a little Willie Lynch. It still flares up from time to time, no matter how conscious you are. Right? Now, that unity is more powerful than an atomic bomb. There was back in 1945, the United States of America government dropped 2 bombs on Japan. Right? August 6, 1945, they dropped a bomb on Hiroshima, I think it was. Right? When he dropped that first bomb, 70,000 people died instantly. Right? The European looked at that, saw it, said, wow, let's do it again. 3 days later, dropped another bomb on another city. Right? There was 10,000 people that died there. Right? Part of the Japanese surrender to the United States, they had to give up their military. Right? Now, did that stop Japan from unifying as a nation? No. They utilized that as strength to come together. Right? I have my sister right here, Sister Jasmine Ashe Beck. A member of our temple. Sister Jasmine speaks fluent Japanese and is very in-depth in Japanese culture. Right? She's more adept in this area than I am, but she can tell you that they rely on their culture to come together. They don't allow differences to divide them, right? And if I'm not mistaken, in Japan, I think it's like 98% of the population of Japan is from Japan, right? So they have real tight immigration, so they rely on each other, they draw from each other, and they demand the very best out of each other, all right? Now, the Quran of Mecca says that Allah created you into tribes and nations, that you would learn to love one another, or know one another, not despise one another. The best of you is he who is most righteous. All right? We've always been clans and tribes. Right? Don't let this, the differences that we have amongst us now divide us from facing a common enemy. All right? How many people know anything about the Moors? Anything? All right? There was a date that you should all remember, which was 7/11 AD. Right? 7/11 AD, your forefathers looked across the water, which was basically you could swim there, from Morocco to Spain, and look and say, you know what? There's some barbarity going over there, and if we don't get control of that, it's going to come over here. So we went over there, militarily took Spain and ruled it for 781 years. Right? Now, that wasn't one group of Moors that did that. That was Moors, Israelites, Berbers from North Africa, hundreds of different tribes got together on one idea and brought in something that lasted for almost 1,000 years. Right? Now don't get it twisted. The European nations know who you are. You don't know who you are. Right? And as a result of that, it makes it difficult for you to come together. Right? While one of the key things for our unity is our identity. Right? Respect to all the masters that came before me. These are masters. Give them a round of applause, please. I had the fortunate opportunity to sit between 2 young brothers right here. 123. I don't know if y'all know that. My brother with the hat backwards. Right? Brothers told me he was 23 years old. They kept talking, I got speechless. I was like, 23? What was I doing at 23? He's 30. Right? My other brother over here is in his 30s. I'm not going to give you exact age, brother. He's in his 30s, right? And I had the chance to sit between these two pillars of our community and listen to the masterful ideas, that not even just ideas, but practical wisdom of putting boots on the ground.
Right.
All right?
They ready.
They're ready and they're doing it. Yes, I understand what I'm saying? And like it or not, you know, those of us who are in our 40s and so on and so forth, don't put your hand up about I want to identify yourself. Right? But we are becoming the new elders.
That's right.
Right? So we have to be willing to listen to the ideas of the ones that's coming behind us. Because a lot of times we were told what to do. I don't know how you were. We were told what to do, you know. And then, you know, we felt kind of out of place. It's like, I got an idea too. Don't worry about your idea. Get over here in bed. Right? But we have to learn how to listen because Allah is moving. Right? Allah is inspiring a new generation. I give honor to my young brother who was rapping earlier. Right? Because you have to listen to our young warriors. You see what I'm saying? Because Allah is sending them a message, and if we tune them out because their form of music is different than ours, we'll miss the message that Allah is sending. And that's Allah, Yahweh, whatever name you choose. Because each nation has a name for the Most High. That's right. So we're not going to trip, and we're not going to say trip and fall out about that. Right? But we have things that we have to do. But we can't allow our little small differences. We've never, I know I have historians in the room, right? You can't show me one period of time where we all believe one thing. Never. Right? Us as Israelites, all those different nations of Israelites, didn't all believe the same thing. The Ishmaelites didn't believe all the same thing. The Moabites definitely didn't believe all the same thing. Right? But we were able to come together when a foreigner came in and tried to encroach on our lands, our ideals, our very way of life. We got together, stopped the beef, we stopped fighting each other and fought them off. There's a story, if I may share with you, about Abraham Lincoln. And it said, during the Civil War, the Native American chiefs got together and said, wow, this would be a good time to attack the Europeans because they're fighting each other. Somebody got that missive back to Abraham Lincoln, and he said, Mr. President, they think about attacking us and we're fighting each other. He said, summon the chiefs, I want to talk to them. So he brought the chiefs to the White House, and he said, exact word, he says, you may think it's an opportune time to attack me and my brethren because we're fighting each other. But don't think, or don't hesitate to think, that we will stop fighting, kill all of you, then go back to fighting each other. That's what you're up against.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? No matter how much madness President Trump comes up with, he's been caught in 8,700 confirmed lies. But his base still supports him. You understand what I'm saying? So don't trip and don't fool yourself to believe that these past 4 years, because he did what he did, he can't get another 4. Right? And during that next 4, you definitely gonna need each other. Because all the things that that you're used to existing, and they're slowly erasing. Remember when he first got in, he was just signing, wouldn't even read, signing the law, signing the law. What else you got? Signing the law, signing the law. You'll find out during these next 4 all those things that he signed. That's right. Right? So I want to draw from something really quick, because I don't want to keep the floor. It's easy for me to feel at home here. But I don't want to burden the floor, because the speaker coming after me is way more powerful now. Pray to keep quiet. Right? I want to draw from Marcus Garvey's Message to the People, my brother from the UNI, if I may. May I? Thank you, sir. It's an article called Diplomacy. I'm only going to read one paragraph. It says, diplomacy is a word used to express the peculiar relationship between nations. Diplomacy is the relationship that nations use to conduct their communications or approach in dealing with matters of state and to affect the relationship of a certain nature between them. In the broader sense, diplomacy means the thoughtful and careful consideration of words and ideas expressed to reduce the words and ideas to the level of being least offensive, while they carry the force of what is being desired to the maximum. Our forefathers were very much interested in putting us in a position to be our own nation. The Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, all he taught was nationhood. Prophet Noble Drali, people know the Moors talking a lot about nationality, right? Nationality is defined in legal texts as the quality of character that arises from the fact of a person belonging to a nation or a state, right? That's nationality. So the root of nationality is nation, right? The most honorable Elijah Muhammad teaching everything he taught and demonstrated for do for self, right? Showing us, not just telling us, showing us that we can do it. Showing us that we can import metric tons of fish from Peru and flood the whole country. acres of farmland. So all this, the template is already established. See, a lot of times we think we have to recreate the wheel. The foundation is already laid. All we have to do is build upon it. Right? And the key is to stop the petty bickering. Right? Because you are one family. I don't care if you speak Spanish, if you speak Patois from the islands, if you're from up north, if you speak down south with a little twang on your words. Right? We all one family. Right? I can't say that enough. I want to draw from one more thing, and I'll do my closing thought. Prophet Noble Drew Ali gave us what is known as the Holy Covenant of the Asiatic nation, because he knew he was coming to a people that did not have a code. Right? I was speaking to a 9th grade class at South Atlanta High School. From time to time we go into schools and teach.
Yes, sir.
And I asked the children, can anyone tell me what a code is? None of them knew what it was. I said, okay, well, do your parents have an ideal for you or a standard for you as far as what's expected of you? And they could relate to that. But they had never heard the word code. Right? And I found that to be a travesty, because you're talking about 9th graders, 4 years from now, they'll be in the world with no code. See, the people that you're up against, that you have to do commerce and trade against, stuff like that, they were raised in their code. You see? I'm from New Jersey. I grew up around Jews, Italians, and Polish, stuff like that. The Polish lived around the Polish. The Italians lived around the Italians. So when they had a problem, they didn't go to outsiders, they dealt with it themselves. See what I'm saying? One more thing I want to say before I read this. Stop putting the Europeans on your brothers. See all these men in there? Right? If we have a problem, no matter what organization you're a part of, that should be brought before that council.
That's right.
If we make and enforce laws amongst ourselves, right? You got to stop outsourcing your freedom. So I like to draw from the Holy Covenant of the Asiatic nations. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali instructions, he says, "Ye are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother hath given you suck. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. And when ye separate in the world, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brother is in adversity, assist him. If thy sister is in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of thy father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all in your love to each other." Does that make sense to you? No, within that, you didn't hear nothing about a religion. You didn't hear anything about different customary differences, any of that. All of those are general principles that we can all get behind. Right? Stop preferring strangers before your own blood. Right? And we have to get together, especially, one more thing I have to say. Right? Brothers, you know, they say, you know, I give honest to our Christian brothers and sisters. They have a phrase I enjoy that says, tell the truth and shame the devil. Let's just tell the truth and shame the devil. Brothers, we know that we're not the best at defending these women. Right? No nation on the earth will respect you as long as you allow these sisters to keep getting violent. These can pull sisters out cars, put their knees in their chest, beat their face in. Men don't rise up, do something about this. You a coward. Everybody knows it's open field around here. Right? Because you don't defend your women. You don't defend the women, you definitely ain't defending the children. Right? We gotta see, and I need to know where we got this spirit of fear from. Because Allah, Yahweh, He never gave us the spirit of fear. We were created fearless. So where did we get this fear from? They taught it to us when we were just a little baby. Wise man was talking, right? When you were just a little baby, He raises you in that ignorance. You see what I'm saying? But see, when you come into the knowledge of yourself, when you know who you are, and know who your forefathers and foremothers were, you don't fear anything. Because you know your help comes from on high. Nothing spooky on high. You understand what I'm saying? This is the heaven that we have to call from. You see what I'm saying? This on earth as it is in heaven. This heaven. Call down the help that you need. Summon it. It's at your will. Right? The Honorable Marshal God said, "Up, you mighty race, you can accomplish what you will." He's addressing that willpower. My brother right here touched on something powerful. We organize stuff like this, right? We set dates to do stuff like this. As time that day comes, nobody will be found. Why is that? Because our will is weak. Because we're still under European psychology. Right? That European psychology taught you to talk a good game. Oh, we good talkers. Oh, we love good speakers. We love good speakers. Right? But what's more honorable is to love doers.
Yes, sir.
Right? Brothers, that's something that, we have a problem with in the household. The sister ain't gonna let you do a lot of talking. And ain't no bills being paid. She ain't gonna let you up. That sounds nice, but here's what's do this month. Brothers, y'all know what I'm talking about? Sisters, do y'all know what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
Please keep us on point. See what I'm saying? Because it's the love that we have for you all that makes us go out and do what we do. If y'all don't keep that fire under us, we go out and be bums. Be real. The average brother don't need much. The average brother don't need much. We come from a hunter-gatherer culture. We can live out in the field if necessary. Right? But ain't no sister gonna come around late. Look, where I'm supposed to sleep at? Where the baby supposed to sleep at? Where the bed at? Sleeping on the floor. You ain't got no curtains up in here. You ain't got no privacy. You ain't got no shower curtain. Water all on the bathroom floor. I thought you were civilized, brother. Now you got to pull it out. Now you got to come to the brothers. Brothers, I ain't get married together. This is to wear me out. Right? But this is the stuff that we deal with on a daily basis, right? We can talk about the history, the language, the this and that, or whatever, but we have to talk about what we all deal with, the practical things. Right? And keeping those, Brother Joseph hit it, those with the family structure. In raising a family, if you don't know who you are, you can't be no good husband. You can't be no good father. As a Grand Sheikh of the Moorish Sciences of America, I give honors to Prophet Noble Ali because he was the one that changed my life. Right? He was the one that taught me how to be a good husband and taught me the attributes behind that. Right? I was married before I was married to my wife out here. I wasn't a good husband at all. I was a terrible husband. Right? I was. I own that. Right? I said tell the truth and shame the devil. Right? It had to get past my ears before you are. But then these lessons started working on me. Right? And I didn't want to be a hypocrite.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? So Allah sent me a woman that helps me bring the best out of me. So the man that you see today is because of her. Right? And any strong brother that you see here tonight, look beside him somewhere in the room. It's a sister keeping him away. That's nation building 101. If we're not dealing with that, it's garbage.
Come on, bro.
You understand what I'm saying? I love you all with a perfect love. I love all these clans and tribes that are here. I respect and honor all your customs and traditions, your different modes of dress, your different ways of speaking. I give honor to my brother Amun Ma'agab for everything he was saying on the esoteric side of things. Because for those that might not be able to appreciate that, let me give you an example, a real quick parallel, right? There was a man named Albert Einstein. He talked about E = MC². He's theoretical, right? The stuff he was talking about didn't exist in his time. He sounded crazy then, right? But then there's like, wait a minute, this can be done. Split the atom, the atomic bomb that we talked about came out of his formula. It was a thought, right? A man named Nikola Tesla, right? Found out in the early 1920s how to, send messages through electrical waves. You call that Wi-Fi now. That was in the 20s. It was a thought. They have a car named after him, the Tesla, which doesn't need gasoline, electricity. So it's a thought. So we need our broad and esoteric thinkers. There's space for everyone in our nation. We need everybody. Right? I'm not talking, I promise I told you. I'm sorry, but this is what my ancestors get going. In India, right now, right, there's over 200 different ethnic groups. Right? Punjabi and so on and so forth, right? But when they leave India and come to go to different countries around the world, they have agreed to say that our nationality is we are Indian, right? In China, over 1 billion people, hundreds of different ethnic groups, right? How many people know there's no such thing as a Chinese language? It doesn't exist. Their language is called, there's multiple languages, Mandarin, Cantonese. You ask them, do you speak Chinese? They laugh. Yes, okay, I speak Chinese. Right? But they know he does not speak Mandarin. See what I'm saying? But when they go to other countries, they have agreed, right, to call themselves Chinese, right? That was after hundreds of years of war and conflict amongst each other. So all the stuff that's going on that you see, like last weekend, 52 people killed in Chicago, right? China went through that. India went through that. All the nations around the earth went through that. The Europeans went through that. But the point is, they came out of it. Right? And you don't define yourself by your trauma.
Come together.
Stop doing it. Yeah, we went through slavery. That's something we experienced, not who we are. Right? Because on a genetic level, you know you're greater than that. Right? But if we fall into the narrative that someone's given us, we give someone else the power to define who we are. And that removes your self-determination. All right? So always define who you are. Love your brothers and sisters. Like the prophet said, prefer not a stranger before your own blood. If you know, sisters, and this is sister to sister, brother to brother, so we won't have a conflict. See a sister that you don't know, greet her, give her a big hug. Trust me, she needs it. Brothers, see a brother that you know, greet him, brother. How you doing, brother? My name is. Here's my phone number, brother, because he needs that. You understand what I'm saying? The reason why we don't do it between genders, because we don't want the problems. You understand what I'm saying? Because all of us ain't civilized yet. We getting it. All of us ain't getting it. Right? But like I said, I love you with a perfect love. May Allah continue to bless you all. May we come together and work on a plan that is actionable. Right? That we can all get behind. And don't vow or promise something that you cannot do.
That's right.
Right? There's something that says somewhere that your word must be your bond. And you would give your life before your word. And with that, I'll leave you as I came in peace. Assalamu alaikum.
All praise be to Allah. In the most holy name of Allah, the Beneficent, the most merciful, the Creator of the heavens and the earth. He is one God. The Holy Quran says, say He, Allah, is one.
Yes.
He begets not, nor is He begotten, and there is none like Him. Ahad. We are taught by the most honorable Elijah Muhammad that Allah hates fractions.
Right.
He only loves whole numbers. The devil loves fractions.
Come on now.
So if Allah, in His self-creation, because He was not begotten, so He's self-created. He built Himself up into oneness from 10,000 parts. And we thank Allah who appeared in the person of a well-made man named Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise is due to forever.
Yes, sir. All right.
And whenever a people go astray from their righteous nature, before Allah punishes that people, He always raises up a prophet or a messenger with divine revelation to guide us back to the straight path of Allah, back to His favor. Therefore we thank Allah for the Israelites, prophets, and the great light that they gave us for the Torah. We thank Allah for the gospel through Esau or Jesus. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him and all the prophets of God. We thank Him for Muhammad and the Holy Quran. Peace be upon these worthy servants of Allah.
That's right.
But if I live to be the ripe old age of Methuselah,
Teach, Mom.
who lived to be 969 years of age, I can never thank God enough for loving black people in America enough.
Right.
That when no one came after us to deliver us from what we experienced in the transatlantic slave trade.
Yes, sir.
What we experienced on that first slave ship called Jesus of Nebec in 1555.
Right. Go ahead, Muhammad.
We were tricked on that ship.
That's right.
They put a good name on the ship, but on that ship was hell.
Teach.
Not under the ground,
That's right.
but hell from a devil on top of the ground.
That's right.
And when we got to Jamestown, Virginia, that's when the horror began.
Yes.
But the Bible says that God promised Abraham
Yes.
that after the 400-year enslavement here in America,
Out. Come on.
Allah God will not send a prophet or a messenger because our problem is so bad.
Right.
The mind of our enemy is so deep in the cells of the black man and woman.
Yes, sir.
The self-hatred, the lack of love for self. Because if we love ourselves, love is not what we say, love is a verb, is what you do. You love your children, what have you built for? A job is just over broke. That's what it means. That's the acronym, J-O-B, just over broke. But the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said, Allah created everyone in creation, everything in creation to do something for itself.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Black man, what are you doing for yourself? So Allah had to come himself to deliver us from the hands of our enemy, from the mind of our enemy, from the ways of our enemy, which is self-destructive. That's right. The self-destructive behaviors we engage in, the smoking, the drinking, the whoring, the lying, the cheating, where does it come from? We didn't hustle on the slave ship. We didn't pimp our women on the slave ship. We didn't have broken families on the slave ship. We didn't say, I hate you, my nigga, on the slave ship. Where did that come from? That came from the mind of our enemy. And once he gave us his mind, he put his name on us. Henry, that's my nigga. Culpepper, that's my nigga. Mr. Roundtree, Mr. Fox, Mr. Bush. Why does he name himself after creation? Hell, because he know he ain't from the creator. And if he was from the creator, everything he touched, he would keep it pure. That's right. Everything the white man touches, he actually alters God's creation. That's right. He touched the watermelon, take the seed out. He touched the grape and take the seed out. Now you dumb enough to say, I want a seedless watermelon. I'm tired of spitting out the seed. But the seed represents life, and anything he puts in it that will kill life, it will kill you. That's right. That's right.
Come on, Muhammad, wake us up.
He didn't change us. He changed our language. Why do you speak English? You're not an Englishman.
That's right.
Why are people in Mexico speak Spanish? They're not Spanish people. Spain is not in Mexico. Spain is not in Brazil. The highest population of black people in the Western Hemisphere is not in America, it's in Brazil. But they speak Spanish. And they wear Spanish people's names. The Haitians are black as 50 million midnights, but they speak French. And they have French people's names, but they're not French. Ain't that right, Brother Eric? He's from Haiti. And they say, oh, we got our land back. We ran the colonial master out of Haiti. Jamaica. We got our land back. We're free now. Nigeria, we're free now. When the white man frees you in terms of giving you emancipation and giving you land, he said, oh, I don't have to colonize your land no more because I have colonized your imagination.
That's right.
And all of our imaginations have been colonized. That's why we're divided. That's why we're satisfied going to Kroger. Where's our own food? Well, I got Whole Foods. Well, I got Trader Joe's. I got Banquet. I got Westlake. Where's your own schools? Where's your own farmland? Where's your own grocery store? Because if you don't love yourself, you don't produce nothing for yourself. You're content with the white man doing for you.
That's right.
I'm full for a reason. You see, my wife is not here with me. That's rare.
That's right. That's right.
I've been with my wife for 31 years come November 11th. I met her right here in College Park.
That's okay,
Let me say this to you.
Right here, baby.
You got so much to understand. God did not come to America just to come.
Go ahead on. That's right.
He came to America to raise you up that you can change the world.
That's right.
You are that chosen people know that stone that the builders are rejected.
That's right, brother.
But God comes to make you the chief and cornerstone. And from America, God will send you out to Brazil, send you out to Mexico, send you back to Africa, send you to China, send you all over the planet. Because the earth belongs to the righteous.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But in every part of the earth, the righteous and the wicked are residing.
That's what they do.
But the righteous must remove the wicked.
That's
Go ahead, Muhammad.
the way. We'll be done.
I'm going to close with this. And I don't want you to feel, what am I going to say, emotional? Feel sorry for me or my wife or my family.
That's right, Brother Stanley.
I'm on the cross.
I know that's my son. Yes, brother. We know that's right.
My wife is on the cross, not because we have been doing nothing.
Come on now.
We on the cross because we are following the Jesus in our midst, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. We got a 100-man task force follow him every day from the FBI and the U.S. government.
Yes, sir. Stanley. You know you right. That's right. Yes. Know you right.
Come here, son.
When a baby is growing in the womb,
Yes, sir.
that first cell of life is in the dark uterus
That's right.
of the woman. Do you know that cell of life is recognized in the womb of a woman as a foreign enemy?
That's right. That's right.
And then that womb goes to attack the sperm or the cell of life.
That's right.
And there's three things that that sperm or that cell of life experience in the womb of the woman. And the challenge is it goes against gravity. It swims upstream. It's a wound of triple darkness, the Holy Quran says.
That's right.
And it's millions of sperms that have to reach that ovum. But only one will make it.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
So in the womb is competition. In the womb is hostility.
Yes, sir.
The house of God, when you come to the house of God, you experience those three things. And some sperms that get tired and they just, I give up.
Tap out.
I'll just tap out. And the sperm, you got a head to guide and a tail for mobility. Some use his tail to block other sperm from making.
Go ahead.
They call blockers. They call haters. So don't be happy over your success because it breeds envy in the hearts of others. When they see the beautiful Moorish American,
Come on.
the Hebrews,
Come on.
and the Sabine's,
Come on now.
and our brothers from the UNIA community, the wonderful, honorable Marcus Garvey.
Yes.
When they see us come together, you're going to see haters.
That's
That's right. The woodwork.
And they start saying, why you with them? They don't believe that Moors are black. Or Moors is the original language, what you should call your people. They ain't black. They don't know what they're talking about.
Go ahead, Muhammad.
We got the right teachers.
They say.
Hebrews say, well, they don't know what the hell they talking about. We believe in the Torah. Them Muslims in the Nation of Islam, they ain't real Muslims.
Come on.
See, when you hear that language, he might be an FBI agent.
Come on now.
And they want to create hostility between the true believers.
That's right.
Go ahead.
When that cell of life, that one sperm makes it,
Yes.
that sperm makes it to the ovum. You are that one that made it. Because you were divided from that ovum. And when God brought that ovum and that sperm together, life was created.
That's right.
And when we come together, we will produce life in our community.
That's right.
That cell of life is in mama's womb. Mama's system is already built. She has her own lungs, her heart, her pancreas, everything. But that baby is pulling from mama's system to build its own system. And the first thing that cell of life builds is the brain to think or call the eyes into existence, call the heart into existence. It is your brain that created your heart. It is your brain that calls your lungs into existence. Why can't you solve your problems? Your brain created your heart. Your brain creates your lungs, but you can't pay bills. You can't solve your marital problems. But then that baby develops his own system, and the umbilical cord is cut. America's system is already up and running. And we are like that worthless water. We pull from the system of America to build up our own system. We make $1.3 trillion collectively. We can use that money to build our own community if we pull our resources together.
That's right.
And once we develop our own schools, our own agriculture, there's 9 systems and there's 9 ministries that we got to develop. And the 10th is the spiritual, which is not just the Nation of Islam. But the Moors are the 10th, the Hebrews are the 10th, the Sabaeans are the 10th, the Muslims are the 10th. We are a bouquet of believers. I'd rather have a bouquet than a whole bunch of just, same color roses.
That's right.
So you got some beautiful roses.
Praises are due to Allah.
I just gave my wife some red roses the other day.
Praises are due to Allah.
When we start doing that, in closing, we'll be attacked. I just came back from Mexico a month ago. Yesterday. I've been down there for a month with my wife. We went down there because my wife was brought here at 7 years old. She was taken from her father, who is a black Mexican, blacker than me, with kinky hair. Her mother was a lighter Mexican. Her mother is more brown, but her mother's mother is more brown, her grandmother. But her grandfather was a white Jew and abused the family and hated black people and did not want my wife's mother to marry her father because he's black. They called him El Negro. So the aunt came at night and her uncle and took her from her home in Sonora, Mexico, and brought her to the States, what they call illegally. She grew up here in Atlanta. She went to school here in College Park. I met her on my 18th birth anniversary on Godby Road. I was there, I had a double date with my brother. Mine was a blind date, he knew what his looked like. Up on Highway 85 at a pizza spot. I wasn't too pleased. So I got to my little apartment, disappointed. And there she was at 16 years of age. It was like love at first sight. It was November 11th, 1988. I proposed to her on Christmas Day and gave her a ring a little over a month later. Because I saw her in a vision when I lived in Hampton, Virginia at 9 years old. I didn't know who she was. Even when I saw her, I did not know who she was. But then later it clicked. I said, oh, she was in a vision. I'm not lying to you. I'm getting to something.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We began the process of petitioning for her in 2013. I got approved to be an I-130 petitioner. In 2013, we was active building this study group at the time on our way to be a mosque.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then our lawyer filed a unlawful presence waiver I-601A, which means if she's separated from us, it would produce an extreme hardship. And so it was approved because of the situation of my family. And you all know about our daughter Akira.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So the lawyer said everything looked good. You got to make enough money to take care of her. Well, if they would have caught me back in the early 90s, I wouldn't qualify. Because I was selling bean pies and newspapers on the corner. I was making some money, but it was not enough. Are y'all with me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because Brother Haru, you were saying something that triggered in me that it was from Allah that I should tell you all this. For a reason. Because the theme is, let's change the world.
That's right.
Disunity is weakness, but unity is strength.
Yes.
So the lawyer, they saw that I made good money, because I'm a business owner, well above the poverty. That was no problem, Brother Eric. She had her vaccination shots when she was a little girl in elementary. She got all that. So the lawyer said, you look good. You're better than any of my clients. So we said, we're going to Mexico, and we're going to have fun, and we're going to go to this interview and come back. Not necessarily so. We got there in Juarez, Mexico. So why they send us to Juarez, Mexico, to the U.S. Embassy or the U.S. Consulate? And they said it's the most violent place on the planet. More violent than Afghanistan. And our people are under a bridge on the border of El Paso and Mexico from Guatemala, Honduras. It's over 6,000 people and the limit is 4,000. And it's fastly growing to be 20,000, and now it's a state of emergency. They're going to have to release some to across the border regardless of what their condition is, because it's a state of emergency. But they're treated less than human by the Customs Border Patrol. So we get down there. My wife has her exam. And she has a paper that said she met all the vaccination requirements because she gave them her shots from when she was in school. She goes to an interview, and the sister, the only black woman interviewing her, she was the last one being interviewed out of maybe 100 people. I waited out there for 5 hours in the sun for my wife. She said everything was going good until a Jew approached her consulate officer named Mark Goldrup. And Mark Goldrup said she did not meet the vaccination requirement. But she had it. She got approved vaccination requirement from the panel physician in her hand. And then they said, oh, that physician made a mistake. Then they said that I don't make enough money, and they're concerned that my wife, when she comes back, she'll be a public charge. Which means be on welfare. I'm a homeowner with a lot of equity in the home.
That's right. Come on now.
A successful businessman over 6 figures.
That's right.
That's right.
Listen to me now.
That's right.
And my wife is not on public charge right now.
Come on, that's right.
Well, what makes you think she's gonna be on public charge when I'm taking care of my wife right now?
That's right.
Teach Muhammad.
So, they argued the point. They said, well, show how much your business is worth, which is over $250,000. They said, but you can't prove you can convert it into dollars in a year. They fight me every step of the way now. But look at this. But why are they fighting me? Other people, they were allowing to go out and get additional information. But my wife said, can I bring my husband? And they said, no. The Department of State exercised the foreign policy that most of us don't know nothing about. But when we got down there, we faced a foreign policy. And then they said, and we're going to revoke your I-601A. You're waiving your unlawful presence, and now you have to stay in Mexico from 3 to 10 years before you can come back. See, we love the devil because he gives us nothing. See, ain't no devil under the ground giving you hell. It's a devil on top of the ground giving you hell. We talking about uniting the black family. They have a nature to separate the black family. But they got the right one on this one. They got the right one on this one. God damn it, you want to bring it? Bring it on, devil. I'm ready to fight for my wife and fight for my family. Muhammad got the devil on the run. So I know that Allah raised me up to fight this day. I was raised by the best of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. They trying to break me. I know it's all right, Mama. I ain't worried at all. This is a Job experience. Yeah? See, we gonna have to really, not a cross just for the Honorable Minister Farrakhan, but if you with him, you gonna have a cross. But the U.S. government is on me and my family, but guess what? I'm so happy that I can prove who God is, like the 3 Hebrew boys proved to Nebuchadnezzar. Your fiery furnace ain't got nothing on the true and living God. Daniel had to prove it. Your damn lie ain't got nothing to do on the true and living God. Pardon me. Because the minister said you were such a punk, I should have never called you in the first place.
That's right. All right now. I know you're telling the truth. Yes, yes.
We raised over $217,000 for the Honorable Minister Farrakhan in the Savior's Day gift.
Right.
And I told the believers, I said, the enemy's coming after us now. See, you think the enemy is not real. I told a few people and I'll close in 5 minutes.
Take your time.
Go ahead, brother. Let Allah do what Allah do.
So I didn't tell nobody this, except my immediate family. Where's Sister Khalida?
She's not here, sis.
Sister Khalida.
She's not here.
And Sister Jacqueline. Because I don't want to disturb the believers while I'm in Mexico. I'm not going to leave my wife.
That's right.
No, sir.
Not to them devils.
Now that's Allah.
And we walk in Mexico together every day.
That's right. Sir.
Every day we in Mexico, we fighting the U.S. government.
That's right.
And people saying, oh, enjoy your vacation. I said, it's not a vacation. We're on personal business. They say, oh, enjoy your vacation. I'm tired of correcting them. We've been in their hotels for 30 days, the Marriott and the Hilton. Eating out every day. Catching cabs, fighting the enemy every day. We got our senator involved. Senator Johnny Ikinson. And my Congressman John Lewis.
That's right.
I thank Allah for the office But guess what? It's nothing but an offers of inquiries, Brother Yosef. I said, you mean my wife is showing you that in black and white she met the vaccination requirements? And they said, because she did not meet it, you have to file a waiver and pay $930. And then pay another $930 as a waiver to even consider her coming back home, which is $1860.
That's Satan.
That's Satan.
Oh, that's
But listen, but this is the beautiful thing about it.
Satan. Make you wake up.
God let Satan test Job.
All right. All right. Isn't it?
Come on with
Isn't
it.
it?
right.
Well, if God took the hedge from around me and my wife, that's a good thing.
All right now, go ahead on.
Because I have no doubt we're going to win.
That's right.
We're going to prove there's no God but Allah who appeared in the person of Master Father Muhammad and him. I have no doubt. I'm not worried and my wife ain't worried. So I said, Musa, you got to get your passport to come take care of your mama. Daddy got to come home to fight.
Yeah,
That's right.
My son is a soldier.
Hey,
He got that passport. He jumped on that plane. I didn't have to tell him he's 17 years old. He's in the gym every day. He's thinking his mama like the Supreme Captain Frank, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and Mother Khadija.
Praises are due to
But why am I down in Mexico?
Running all the time. Soldier.
We're talking to the black people in Mexico. Black!
make some Muslim.
Blacker than me.
Yeah, right.
There's a place like 5 Points called Central.
Allahu Akbar.
It's black Honduras, black Guatemalans, black Mexican from Juarez teaching
the original.
a revolutionary message.
That's right.
And when I began to teach about black, it's not black because you just curse. Black is black. You're not cursed at all.
That's right.
But black is black because God is black.
That's right. That's right.
And I began to teach the cab driver who's black like me. He said, why don't you come and start a mosque in Juarez? And he driving the cab and he reached in his back compartment and showed me the Bible. Show me in Jeremiah 8:21 when God said, I am black. Well, I went to St. Pete and made a mosque. I came to College Park and made a mosque by Allah's grace. Why not go to Mexico and build a mosque and make that devil pay for what he's done to our people in Mexico? Let's change the world. And we got to unite our people. There's buses in Juarez, like school buses, full of our people from 5 a.m. in the morning to 8 p.m. at night. Japanese has factories there giving them 100 pesos a week, which is $5 in U.S. currency. And the people are oppressed. And they're your people.
That's right. They sure are.
But their slave master is different from yours. Their slave master is from Spain. So when they made us like themselves,
Go ahead.
and the Spanish was enemies of the British, and the French was enemies of all of them as well. So they made us enemies of each other because we took on their mind.
That's right.
So if you don't speak Spanish and have a Spanish name, and our wonderful Sister Victoria is from Mexico, or Ecuador, but she was the Latino,
Same family.
same family, but
Yeah.
she got the same slave master as my wife. That's what it means.
Yeah.
She's not different from us.
That's right. That's right.
She comes from the same root as we come from. But the slave master put his seed in the black woman and changed her color. And gave us their language, their culture, their God.
That's right.
And so we have become divided because we have the mind of our slave master. And they were enemies of each other. Now they made us enemies of each other. But Mexico is now hating America.
That's right. That's right.
I was teaching a pastor down there. He black as Sister Brenda, blacker than you, Sister Brenda J. Blacker than you. And he was a pastor.
That's true.
I told him the white man's the devil. He no. I said, see. I said, Trump is the devil. He said, see, I agree. He got so excited when I told him that the black man is not black because he's cursed. The black man is black because God is black. He started getting excited.
That's right.
And it was so easy to convince them. And the message said, would it take black people in South America, in Central America, 6 months to learn? It would take black people in America 6 years to learn. That's how bad of a shape we're in. So I say this to you all. Our disunity is weakness. And so a senator or the president was met by the civil rights movement leaders. And they was begging him to pass laws and policies. He said, you all go out and make me do it. And the minister said that Satan will give you anything he wants with a gun to his head. And the gun is our unity.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
So how many of us love your Sister Ruth? I'm about to tell you. You got to change the world. And dissatisfaction brings about change. A satisfied person is a dangerous person to be around. If you're satisfied, you ain't changing nothing. All you want to do is keep going to Kroger and Whole Foods and send your children to the colleges and universities of the devil.
Right.
And you're happy, you got a nice home and car. I'll be in and out of Mexico until this is done.
Yes, sir.
As Master Father Muhammad, he was in and out of America for 20 years.
Yes.
And I'll be, when I'm in Mexico, showing up, Brother Stanley and Sister Ruth is preaching.
That's right.
And the USMC said, damn, we messed up. And so they tried to ban the Honorable Minister Farrakhan, and they did ban the minister from Facebook.
I know that's right.
And they meant to stop our people from coming to the minister. But it did not work.
No, that's right.
Because we have our brother here and his wife.
Yes.
Who said, well, why are they banning him? Who is he? They want to ban him. So they started researching the minister. And as a result, they researched the minister. He got fired up. Like a fish, just hit the atmosphere, just jumping with the spirit. And he said he Googled and wanted to see where the nearest mosque was, and 15B came up. And him and his, where's your wife, brother? Hey, come on down here. Y'all come up here on the stage. I was in Mexico, and my wife, when they came, I want you to look at them.
Yeah. Strong.
That's one of their son Legend. And they got little girls as well. Zariah. Sister Carmelita, my daughter was supposed to talk that day, but she missed her flight. Sister Carmelita taught, and they accepted. And they sent my wife and I a picture of them. I think you were holding your son and your little daughter was standing, and brother, you was talking to somebody. And when I saw them, I said, they have been sent by Allah. I couldn't wait to meet them. Because when I saw them, I saw my wife and myself when we first joined. This couple here will be tried. But you, the true believers, you protect them from the evil one and help them make it to be one with Allah.
Yes, sir.
They came as a result of the ban of Facebook.
Isn't that something? That is that.
And I'm going to write the minister and let the minister know about this power couple. Let's give them a round of applause and let's love them and support them. So establishing 15B wasn't worth it if we just got them. So I know when I'm gone down in Mexico, they're going to keep it going.
That's right. That's right.
Because she's a very spiritual woman. He's a very spiritual man.
Look at them.
Already so.
And when she opened her mouth at study group yesterday, I said, she sounds like Ruth. I said, the roof is on fire. And her husband is just a wonderful warrior. And for his family, he'll kill a brick, choke a stick, and drown a glass of water. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you, God. So I'll be going back soon to fight the U.S. consulate. I didn't rest last night because I was researching the law myself.
Yes.
And I found something.
All for a reason.
And I want to tell you all, that next week, we'll send information out to everyone. I called the minister to let the minister know, but he was in Mecca.
Yes.
Because if I have to go and stay there, doesn't mean because I leave, 15B don't keep going.
That's right. Absolutely.
That means y'all had the wrong motive anyway.
All right.
But we're going to have to grow up now.
That's right.
The Moors are going to have to move out from America and teach the word.
That's right.
The Hebrews going to have to move out of America and teach the world, but we got to teach our people first, though.
That's right. That's right.
But don't teach disunity.
That's right.
But teach love and unity for one another. So I want to keep you updated.
Sure.
If we have to have a press conference with my lawyer at her law office, will you come?
Yes, sir. Yes,
I'm always in some trouble, ain't I, brother?
That means God.
I got in a fight with the white boy at UPS, and the Morris Americans were right there. We had 100 people supporting, and they dropped all charges. I went on this job, though. You called my daughter a black bee. I said, where it work? I met him when he was coming to work with his lunch bag.
Good.
I said, did you call my daughter a black bee? And yeah, I did. And what you gonna do about
That was wrong.
it? Huh?
No, I was talking about what he should have never said.
Oh, that's right, Mom. And so they dropped all charges, meaning that I was right.
That's right.
We believe our women should be respected and protected. As other women, other nationalities respected and protected. My daughter Sophia won't forget that.
That's right. Now we can't either.
So I want you to know that we gotta fight now for what we believe in.
That's right.
That's right.
So I'll let you all know and keep you informed. I know that's more than 15 minutes. But I thought that you should know.
Yes, sir. Thank you for sharing.
Now I know a rumor after this is going to go around saying this, the enemies are going to be the enemy.
That's right. Do what they do.
You do what you do.
That's right. Do what they do.
I ain't leaving my post.
That's right.
No, I don't quit my post until properly relieved. And what properly relieves me is death and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, because he made me his minister.
Fine, brother. Fine.
He told me, he said, son, I want you to go as the ministry of love.
Yes, yes, yes.
He said, I approve of you being 15B. And he said, son, I back you 100%. May Allah curse me if I'm lying.
That's a blessing.
And last time he was here in Atlanta, I said, I ain't seen my dad the whole time. And you know, I said, wait a minute now. I'm up there fussing and I ain't see my dad, my spiritual father. And the thought came up in my heart, if you want to see him, go find him.
All right.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
So I went to the hotel. God gave me 2 brothers. And as soon as he was about to leave, Brother Minister Halim and myself was standing. I said, brother, you think I should walk up and greet him? He said, no, brother. If he calls you over, then go over there and greet him. If he waves you from afar, then let him keep going. Yes, sir. As soon as he came around that corner, that smile like the sun. And he said, come, come, come. I don't remember even getting over there. I got over there so quick. And he was in a wheelchair. He grabbed me. He said, oh, brother. He said, you look beautiful. You lost some weight. Yeah, I was trying to get pounds back to Farrakhan on his birthday. And he told me how much he loved me and to keep up the good work.
That's right.
And he jumped out of his wheelchair and kissed me on the cheek. And I kissed him back. I said, Brother Minister, I'm trying to be beautiful like you.
Yes, sir. That's right.
So brothers and sisters, let's change the world by changing how we think about each other. Let's love each other.
Yes, sir.
Let's be there for each other.
Yes, sir.
Because we all going to be attacked by this government.
That's right.
But touch not my anointed and do my servant no harm. So I want us all to, at the end of this, let's greet each other, let's love each other. And I'll inform you on what the next step is. We're going to all flood the Congress, the Senate, and the U.S. Consulate in Juarez, who have a history of doing evil. And I read one case that a man was married to his wife in California. He was in Mexico. He had a border crossing card, and he was a business owner. He would cross the border to do business. He applied, he qualified, and he went to his interview. They said, oh, you're trafficking drugs. Trafficking drugs. And they said, where you get that information from? He said, the DEA. So he had a meeting with the DEA and the U.S. Consulate. And guess what the DEA asked him? Will you be a drug informant? He said no. So they said, you'll never have your citizenship in America, and we're going to revoke your border crossing card. That's the kind of people we're dealing with. But whatever path God has us on is our path.
That's right. Yes.
And we thank God for whatever He brings into our life. But if your brother and sister is suffering, know that is a test of how much you really want to unite.
That's right.
Because it's not our trial, it's really yours.
It is right. That's
Because and I know about your test, it's not your test, it's mine.
That's right.
Because we're going to have to unite and show that devil down there in Mexico. And we got to pick it. Bring Ruth back.
That's right. That's right.
Let power gower. I love you all. I gave you a death oath about the land. I said, I'll never take your money. Matter of fact, me and my wife put in the most. And we were blessed by our realtor to find land in unincorporated College Park, which is now the city of South Fulton. It's over an acre with a well on it and stream running along. Because the minister said, if we want to be free, the first step is get land. So I'm following his instructions. And so we have money in the bank. Is that right, Brother Student Secretary?
That's right, sir.
I'm about to put the money down. And it's only $13,000. Is it not? And the owner is ready to finance if we have to.
Right.
And they said we can put a home or a building on that property. And Sister Teresa is ready to start getting fruits and vegetables grown there. So a Curious Cafe, when it opens, inshallah, next month.
Yes, sir.
When the grand open. Do you like the space so far? Allahu Akbar.
Thank you, sir.
We'll buy a ticket. And brother, if you want to actually have an event, the Sabine community, this is your house.
That's right, that's right.
And the Hebrews and whoever, it's your house.
That's right.
It's a humble home,
Yes,
but it's yours.
that's right.
And what makes it a real home is love is here.
That's right.
You can have a big mansion, but if love ain't there,
That's right.
Luther said the house is just a house. If there ain't nobody.
Be a shack.
So, inshallah, we're going to next week start the contract. And it does not belong to the nation of Islam. It belongs to all of our people. The Moors, that's your land. Hebrews is your land.
That's right.
Sabine is all of our land.
That's right.
This land is your land. This land is mine. I love you all. Assalamu alaikum.
حي على الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر حي على الصلاة